My name is Zina Jawadi, and I'm a high school junior at the Harker School in San Jose, California. I have hearing loss, and I have been a mainstream student my entire life. In other words, I have been attending regular schools with hearing students. Almost always, I have been the only student with hearing loss in the classroom. In this video, I would like to share with you the best practices for mainstreaming students with hearing loss.
As a teacher, when you're speaking in front of the classroom, you need to make sure that your face is always visible to the student with hearing loss. If you cover your mouth, for example with a piece of paper, a cup of coffee, or your hand, the student with hearing loss may not be able to hear you.
When you are talking with a person with hearing loss, whether during class or in person, please speak slowly, articulately, and not quietly, especially when you're covering important information.
In public speaking, we begin with an attention getter that leads into our thesis. So when we teach a topic, we should first try to find a way to grab the attention of the class. And this is especially important for the student with hearing loss.
As much as possible, I think that teachers need to write effective, clear notes on the board, especially if they're describing new terms. So I really would agree with Dr. Redfern's statement that as much as possible, teachers should in fact write clear notes on the board and should try their best not to turn their back to their students while they're doing their class.
It's difficult for a student with hearing loss to hear and understand teachers, but it's much more difficult for a student with hearing loss to hear other students. Unlike most teachers, students are not as comfortable with the material and often speak tentatively, softly, and inarticulately.
Most importantly, if you show a video in class, make sure to turn on the closed captioning. If the video does not show the captions, it's better just not to show it at all. By the way, even with the captioning turned on, the student will be busy reading the words and they may lose some of the speech that you want them to hear.
Some teachers are apprehensive and reluctant to wear the FM system, but the student with hearing loss benefits significantly from it, so the teacher should wear it and turn it on when speaking.
A poor relationship between a teacher or any student will have negative ramifications on the student's ability to learn. Most students with hearing loss tend to depend more on teachers than students with normal hearing. As a result, a poor student-teacher relationship can be even more detrimental to the student with hearing loss.
Students with hearing loss often have difficulty in noisy places, such as hallways, cafeterias, gymnasiums, auditoriums, and playgrounds. Certain settings are also awkward, for instance, assemblies, school meetings, and public announcements. Phone calls are tricky as well. In these situations, a student with hearing loss can feel like an outsider, even though he is surrounded by many of his classmates and schoolmates.
Being a student with hearing loss is hard work. Imagine concentrating and speech reading all day long just to understand what is being said. It is draining. By early afternoon, the student with hearing loss will have had it, and fatigue sets in. In addition, especially in highly achieving academic schools, the student with hearing loss compares himself or herself with his or her classmates and feels a lot of self-pressure to excel.
Hearing loss is often called an invisible disability. I would like to ask all teachers to please apply as many of the practices in this video as possible, because only with these practices can we remove the dis from disabilities. Thank you.